Mahindra. The Mahindra Group has deepened its electric vehicle bet. It has launched two new electric SUVs promising faster charging and higher mileage at an event in Chennai.
Now, according to a 2021 report by a consulting firm, India's electric vehicle market is expected to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of 90% this decade.
A quiet revolution has begun, and no one has heard of it. Without much fanfare, a new generation of electric vehicles has entered India. They are not just about speed, nor about technology. They are full of intelligence that can shape the coming decade. Built on Mahindra's new EV platform, these vehicles are the result of Prime Minister Modi's Green India mission and are giving global companies sleepless nights. The smart features, range, design of these vehicles are not only attracting domestic buyers, but international markets are also eyeing India. Some reports are even saying that this is India's Tesla moment. And if that turns out to be true, all notions of the EV world will be rewritten. Companies that seemed invincible till yesterday now have a new challenger: India. So how is this new announcement from India shaking the roots of the EV market? Go ahead in the video to know. But before that, do subscribe to the channel Decode Wire. This change happened slowly, but now that it has happened, the whole world is shocked. For years, whenever electric cars were discussed, the only names that came up were Tesla, BYD, or German companies. India was either ignored or simply brushed off, saying that EVs don't fit in with the roads, budgets, and infrastructure here. But while the world was looking in the other direction, something special was brewing in India, without any fanfare, without making headlines. Mahindra, which was known for tractors and powerful SUVs till now, was quietly laying the foundation for a big change. Without a big press conference, they introduced a powerful, great-looking, and tech-packed electric SUV called the BE.6E. This was no ordinary vehicle. It was a sign that India has now become a serious player in the EV world. Built on the new INGLO technology, this car has AI support, flat floor, support for battery options, and is powerful enough to compete with the world's top EV platforms. Its range is around 500 kilometers, charging speed is fast, and the design is such that people are forced to turn back and look. But the story is not just about features. The real shock was that Mahindra launched this car in the market in a ready state, while other companies were still stuck in the prototype. And the most important thing is that Mahindra is not limited to India only. This car is built on European standards, and talks have started about sending it to markets like UK and South Africa. Initially, the media around the world could not understand what had happened. But when the test drive reports came, everyone was surprised. It started getting praised in terms of comfort, speed, and technology. Its AI system, MAYA, is being counted among the smartest interfaces till date. And the most surprising thing is, Mahindra did not make a big deal about it. No big show, no glamour, no heavy promotion. Just a simple press release, some invites, and then complete silence. So much silence that people started wondering what else the company was secretly building. And meanwhile, suddenly another model, XUV.E9, also started appearing on the roads. So now the question is not whether India is in the EV race or not. The real question is whether India is going to lead this race now. Times have changed. India is no longer a bystander. It has taken the wheel. What was once a mere spectator in the EV race is now right in the middle of the game. And this is just the beginning. The real explosion is yet to come, and it's not far away. The BE.6E is no ordinary SUV. It's a mission. When Mahindra unveiled it, people initially couldn't believe it. Is it really made in India? Has a brand that was known for its powerful, simple cars pulled it off? Because the BE.6E wasn't just about style, It looked like it was back from the future. The SUV is built on the new Ingelo platform, which is designed with an all-electric mindset. While many companies are still trying to convert their old petrol vehicles into EVs, Mahindra started from where the real idea of EV begins, from scratch. And the benefits were clear. The whole structure was light and strong. The floor was flat, which made the seating area feel very spacious. And the wheelbase was so long that the ambiance inside the car felt like a premium lounge. On the surface, its design, it looked like a concept car, but it was actually parked in a showroom. The battery pack underneath was 79 kilowatt-hours, which gave a range of more than 500 kilometers. And the dual-motor version could accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 6 seconds. So this was no slow EV. It was a mix of both performance and style. But the biggest surprise came from its brain, Maya. It was not just a car, it was a smart companion. Mahindra launched it with an AI system that could recognize your driving style, change the route based on the traffic, use the weather and traffic to make better use of the battery. Maya could manage things on its own based on your gestures, voice, and needs, be it the car's AC, music, or route planning. Not only this system connected to your phone and remembered your appointments, music preferences, and even the temperature you felt comfortable in while driving. Now, this was not just a car. It was a new experience. An experience that was ready to take India by storm. But the whole world. And it doesn't end here, because this is just the beginning. No one knows what Mahindra's next move will be. Design as if India has stopped compromising. When one first saw the B6E, it was clear that its look was not just stylish. It was well thought out. With its sloping roofline, floating LED lights, and sharp rear design, one could tell that this car could grace any showroom in Europe. But that doesn't end there. The interiors and materials were also special. It wasn't a story of plastic and cheap finishes. Everything felt premium. And that too with eco-friendly choices. That is, the materials were vegan-friendly, and sustainability was given full attention. Mahindra didn't copy anyone. They created a new language of their own. And when the price was revealed, it really blew everyone's mind. The price at which the B6E was launched was much cheaper than the expensive EVs from Europe and China. And yet, it had everything a high-end electric SUV should have. This is why reports soon started coming in that it was headed to markets like the UK and South Africa. Now, if Mahindra can start making it in large numbers and maintain the quality, then Tesla, BYD, and many other big players really need to take notice. Especially in countries where customers care about every rupee, EVs like the B6E could be game changers. Still, Mahindra didn't turn this success into a show-off. No flashy ad campaigns, no Elon Musk-esque drama. Just a quiet confidence, as if to say, this is just the beginning. And that was the truth, because what came after the B6E made it clear that this wasn't just a story about a car, it was the beginning of a whole new idea, a whole strategy. And as the next launches started coming out, that big plan started speaking for itself. How these two SUVs from India are making the country a powerful player in the global EV market. So far, whenever there was talk of electric vehicles in the world, names like Tesla, BYD, or Mercedes-Benz and BMW came to everyone's lips. India's name either did not come up at all, and even if it did, it was simply dismissed by saying that we are still far behind. There is no charging infrastructure, or people run after cheap cars, who will buy EV? But now that thinking is changing. And this thinking has been changed by Mahindra's two powerful electric SUVs. B.6E and XUV.E9. These two vehicles are not only made for India, but have been made to show to the world. And this is what is bothering big foreign companies. BE.6E was the first SUV that created a stir even outside India. Its look, its range, and above all its platform, all this was so advanced that people could not believe that this vehicle came from India. And its look will put the cars parked in many dealerships in Europe to shame. Floating LED lights, aggressive design, and a seating position where you can stretch your legs straight, all of this is so premium that anyone who sees it for the first time will say, "Did Mahindra really make this?" On the other hand, there is the XUV.E9, which is a slightly sportier, more premium and a bit bolder-looking EV. From its roof design to its interiors, everything looks like a top-line model from a foreign company. But the difference is that the price of this car has been decided keeping the Indian pocket in mind. And this is where foreign companies are getting scared. The heart of both these SUVs is the Inglo platform. This is a new electric architecture that has been built from the ground up just for EVs. This is not a jugaad to convert an old petrol car into an EV. So the floor of these vehicles is flat. The battery pack is at the bottom. And the grip of the car on the road is like it is glued. These features not only improve the driving experience, but also make the vehicle balanced, which benefits both safety and performance. Now comes the biggest surprise, and that is the price. While other companies in the world are selling vehicles with similar range and features for 40 to 50 lakhs, Mahindra has launched a vehicle of the same category for much less than that. And then, when the news came that this SUV will soon be sent to markets like UK and South Africa, foreign companies were left with a straight face, because now India is not only making EVs, but is also exporting them. Then comes the matter of technology. These vehicles have an AI software system called Maya, which understands the habits of the driver, changes the route by looking at the traffic and weather, and even remembers things like your playlist and temperature. That is, it is not just a car, it is a walking smart assistant. The countries and companies in the world who till now thought that India would just follow behind are now seeing that India has changed the straight track and is now ready to be at the forefront in the next race. These SUVs of Mahindra are no longer just vehicles. They have become a symbol of the confidence, of the capability that India has built on its own. Companies like BYD and Tesla are now reconsidering their prices. Even in Europe and America, people are now searching. Mahindra BE.6E launch date in UK or XUV.E9 international version. And all this is happening because India quietly, without making any noise, had made such preparations that no one had expected. And the interesting thing is that Mahindra did not make any big show of this success. No glitzy event, no hype-creating ad campaign. It just worked and showed it to the world. This quiet confidence is what scares all those global companies the most, because when someone does something big without saying anything, everyone gets shocked. So now the question is not just whether India is in the EV market or not. The real question is how India is going to lead this market now. Narendra Modi's green push and the billion-dollar backing. As Mahindra's electric SUV slowly started moving from Indian roads to international airports, European testing sites, and foreign auto blogs, everyone's eyes shifted from the vehicle to the country where these vehicles were being made, India. And the real thinking behind this whole story was that of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He was not just a leader in name, but emerged as the real mastermind of this entire strategy. There was a time when India was far behind in the EV race. Neither were there charging stations on the roads, nor were people ready to buy EVs. Car manufacturing companies also made excuses. Sometimes batteries were expensive, sometimes profits were low, and sometimes there was a lack of infrastructure. But all this gradually changed. And this change was not a coincidence. It was completely part of the planning. The Modi government gradually took steps one by one that had a deep impact. Tax exemption was given to EV buyers. Battery manufacturers got subsidy. And then came the biggest weapon, PLI scheme. In this scheme, the government clearly stated that companies that invest in EV technology will get huge benefits. This is where Mahindra sensed the opportunity and put in all its might. They did not just start making vehicles, but they started investing in everything that is the future of the EV industry, like battery plants, AI technology, and thermal testing labs. These were the things that do not make headlines in the newspaper, but these are the real heroes of the industry. And the Modi government did not stop at just making policies. They made this entire EV mission the voice of the country. Once at the Energy Freedom Summit, Modi stood on the stage and said, "Clean energy is not a luxury for us. It is a revolution. We will not lag behind. We will lead." These words were not a show-off. These were actually the thinking that was being implemented at every level. He did not take Mahindra's name directly, but anyone who was smart knew that the government is now standing behind Indian companies with full force, with money, policy, and public support. Meanwhile, the work that was happening quietly was even more amazing. Charging stations started coming up along the country's highways. Government power companies started building smart grids that could support EVs, and even some startups started getting funding that were working on solid-state batteries. Subsidies were also being given for buying electric tractors and small vehicles in villages. This means that India is no longer happy with just making EVs. Now it is preparing to shape the entire EV world according to its own wishes. And all this was possible because of a thought, a teamwork, and a mission in which the government took the lead. And companies like Mahindra are walking hand in hand. Now it was not just about selling cars. It was an attempt to build a whole system, one in which every layer was connected. Mahindra was part of this entire blueprint. Some reports came that in collaboration with the railways, they are making the logistics system electric. Nameless testing vehicles were seen running in the dark of night on the roads of Rajasthan and Tamil Nadu. Some engineers also told that the firmware of the vehicles was being updated from a remote server. And all this was possible with the help of the government 5G network. The meaning was clear. Mahindra was not just making cars, but also creating a strong EV ecosystem. And when all this was happening, other companies also started getting restless. Hyundai and Kia accelerated their EV launch timeline in India. Some European companies started thinking about manufacturing in India again, and some Chinese companies even stopped their plans. The most important thing was that despite such a big change, no drums were played. Neither Modi said anything about Tesla, nor did Mahindra make any fuss. India moved ahead quietly but firmly. From the outside, it seemed that there was only some movement, but those who were watching from the inside understood that India had now turned the tables. The question arose, why are Modi and Mahindra so quiet? Is there still some big bet left? Because if BE.6E and XUV.E9 were just trailers, then the real movie was yet to come. And meanwhile, when the testing reports of these Mahindra vehicles started coming in Europe and other countries, the effect was clearly visible. These vehicles started being discussed in the meeting rooms of Germany, America, and China. A big auto critic of Europe even said that the AI system of BE.6E is more customizable and user-friendly than Tesla. And from here, things started changing. Now, Mahindra was not being considered just an Indian brand. Now it was being considered a global challenger. And all this was happening quietly. Tesla's plan to build a gigafactory in India was put on hold. Elon Musk attributed it to regulatory issues, but the inside story was different. Fears were mounting that India could catch up so quickly that it could overtake everyone. Now, foreign companies began resetting their India launch dates one by one. Those who earlier thought the EV opportunity in India would come in 2027 or later were now holding emergency meetings. Because it was clear now, Mahindra is not just present, it is competing. If you also feel that India is not just participating in the global EV race, but is also preparing to lead it, then do not miss this journey. Go ahead in the video and subscribe to the channel Decode Wire, because you will get every update here first.